guys, it's Jen from over at worldofjencraft.com, and this is our project for today. So I have to be a little honest with you guys, as I always am. I have been just kind of in this little creative slump lately. I'm not quite sure. I try to analyze it, like what's going on? And I think it's just, we have so much new coming out in the new catalog in the month of June, and I've been able to pre-order some of it, but we also have a lot that is retiring, and so I'm just kind of in this conundrum as to what do I create? What do you guys want to see? Do you want me to, I don't know, focus on the stuff that's going out or the stuff that's coming in? And so I'm just, I don't know. Anyways, let's just get on with this because I could sit and think about it all day. But I did manage to come up with this after working on it for half the morning and change it. Didn't even look like it started off. So it just kind of evolved into this. And then I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. So mini striped ribbon, the lemon lime twist is what I used. The Sharing Sweet Thoughts from the very back page of the catalog, not like the back page, but the page 233. So this is the stamp set, and it coordinates with the die set that goes with the Jar of Love, which is, I just passed it, the Everyday Jars framelits. So I bought it because I already had the dies, and it has literally just been sitting in my cupboard collecting dust. So I wanted to get it out before it left our catalog completely and forever. Here you go. There's the dies and framelits, the Everyday Jars. Stampin' Blends, light and dark Old Olive and light and dark Cherry Cobbler. Basic Black and Night of Navy are the two ink pads that I used. And the cardstock is a lemon lime twist, 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2, and a 2 1/2 by 2 3/4. Night of Navy is 4 by 5 1/4, and a 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. Whisper White, you will need a scrap. I've already stamped out my strawberries, but I'll need to stamp out my jar and everything else on here. And then, I think that's what that was in there for. A 1 7/8 by 5 1/8, which is not this. That's what that is. Okay, 1 7/8 by 5 1/8, and I'll show you why later. And then a 2 3/8 by 3 5/8. I don't even know what I cut 2 hours ago. And then the DSP, the Tutti Frutti, I finally broke down and used really cute strawberries. This is a 2 by 5 1/8. And then I just cut that out ahead of time, and Real Red is a 1/2 by 5 1/8. Whew! Let's get on with this video. I feel like it's taking forever. All right, so let's stamp out. We are going to need one of these images that we are going to stamp and then cut out with the Big Shot. So I'm just gonna stick this over here. Oh, I'm telling you, that's how my day's been going today. Let's see, so we'll just put it over here. And then I'm going to need this stamped out in, let me get that on my block, Night of Navy. And I think I'm just going to stick that up above here because we're going to be die cutting that as well. And I think that's all we need for the stamping right now. So let's pull out the Big Shot, and I'm going blind here with how the Big Shot is going to look in the screen since I have not used it yet with my new setup. But let's just see. Well, that fits within the paper, so hopefully it's showing good enough for you guys. So let's go ahead and just cut out our images here. So I'm just going to line this up. Oops. All right, let's try this again here. at my angle, I can't tell if I'm, oop, all right. Let's try switching out the plate. And try this again. It's not that difficult, Jen. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to try to line up this one and cut both of them out at the same time. Now I just need to find my other plate, so hang tight. All right, let's get this bad boy cut out. And then I'm going to, so we'll take this one off, and I'm gonna go ahead and just remove this whole piece, and we're going to take the center here that comes with the dies and place that in here because we're gonna cut it out from our jar. Okay, we're moving right along. Now I'm going to switch out to the regular platform, and I'm going to bring in my embossing folder, and we are just going to emboss just this strip here. And we just need the regular platform in one plate because the embossing folder is thicker. It's that dynamic textured. I don't know why I like to run it through twice. Maybe you don't need to, but I do feel like maybe it makes a difference. Okay. So now that we have all that, I am going to cut out these strawberries. And because it does take a little bit of time to cut these out, I am going to fast forward through it, but I will show you before I fast forward that I just left just a little bit of a white edge. You could certainly cut right on them if you want, but I did leave, oh, maybe like a 1/16 of an inch or so just all the way around. All right, so one thing I realized as I was cutting these out is my brain is elsewhere today. So we are coloring these after the fact. And let me bring my card back in. So all I did is I just used the light cherry cobbler and just colored in 3 of the strawberries. And then whichever 3 I did not color in with the lighter one, I came back in and colored with the darker. So for this one, I'm just gonna color in this one, and then I'm gonna color in this one. And I'm not doing any special kind of shading or anything, trying to stay within the lines the best I can. And then I colored in this one here. And then I'll show you quick on the leaves and stems before I get into my other ones. So I colored in the leaves just with this light old olive. And then I went back with the dark old olive. This is a little bit harder coloring it in before I cut it. So I highly, highly, highly recommend doing that before you cut. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish coloring the rest of the strawberries, and I will fast forward so you guys don't have to spend another 15 minutes watching me color. Now that these are done, the one thing I did want to point out is because I was stacking these kind of basically on top of each other, I alternated how I put my darks. So my two darks were these two here with a light, and then on this one I just put a light, a dark, and a light. So I just kind of alternated how I did those. So the next thing that I'm going to do is just going to grab a little bit of adhesive, and I'm going to set these just in this extra jar that I cut out, and I'm just going to set just basically stacking one on top of the other, just like that. And then I'm going to grab the jar that we cut the center out of and grab our Stampin' Dimensionals. And what I did is, in order for me to fit my Stampin' Dimensional on the back of this, I just cut a very small strip off of the edge. These are the minis, and you can also essentially do the same with the other one, with the regular ones too. We also do have those longer strips, but I didn't have any, so this was my best alternative for getting a nice thin strip of dimensional on here. So I just put it down each side, and then this might need to be cut down a little bit to put down at the bottom. Just like that. And then you can take some of the, I just put 3 minis actually at the top, and these worked out really nicely. I don't often use the minis, but I did find that they came in handy for this particular project. And this project has a little bit more detail than some of my others have been, but I do like the way it turned out. So that's just going to get adhered just straight over the top of that. And if you had window sheet, you could certainly put that on top to give it that extra little detail, but I did not have any. Otherwise I probably would have made a shaker card, but I am out of the window sheets. I need to buy some. So that is just going to get adhered down onto the top here. And we're going to set this aside and actually put the rest of our card together now that we have all those details done. So I'm going to put my Night of Navy, if I can bring my adhesive up here. And that is going to just go on top of our card base. And then our DSP, I love both sides of this DSP. I just love these little dots of white. Just reminds me of a really cute summery blue and white polka dot dress. So this is going to go just right here at the very edge, leaving that lip there. And then the piece that we embossed is going to go butted up next to it. And this was actually an afterthought, so I did not emboss the whole thing. But I kind of think it works out that way. That way your DSP is not sitting on top of all of this embossing. So that's just going to get butted up right next to it. And our strip of real red, I actually put down so it was directly on top of the DSP, but butted up against the white. So there's that, and this is going to get adhered to our lemon lime twist. I love these colors together. I just love the pop of that bright green with the real regal colors of the red and the blue together. It's definitely a summer card and just in time for strawberry season. So there's that. And this is going to get pop dotted, which I am actually going to use the larger dimensionals because the minis just won't cut it for me at this one. So yeah, strawberry season. I was at the grocery store last week and I should have picked some up because they're coming out in the big old huge containers. I love cutting them up and just putting a teeny tiny bit of sugar in them and letting it sit for a while. And then, or sometimes I'll just cut up a bowl and not add any strawberries at all, or any sugar at all, just kind of let the natural sweetness of the strawberries. So I'm just centering this on top of my red, and all I'm going to do is put a little bit of adhesive onto the back side of this. And I forgot our sentiment, so let's throw that on quick. I'm telling you guys, I am not right in the head right now. I don't know what my deal is. I feel just kind of a little scatterbrained for some reason. So very carefully, let's get this inked up. And that's just going to come down here at the bottom. Now we're going to, I just kind of put this at an angle, kind of to fill it up. Everything else is so straight on and centered. I just felt like this needed to go at an angle. And the very last thing that I am going to do, if I can find it here on my desk, because all of a sudden it is just disappeared, as I was going to tie a bow with the ribbon. And I'm not quite sure what I did with it as I'm looking all around my desk area. It's right in front of my face. You know, when my kids were looking for things and it was like right there, I would say, hey, if that was a snake, it would have bit you. So yeah, if this was a snake, it would have bit me. So I'll just throw a little bow. Nothing too big for the top of it. I think that looks about right. That kind of got a little too angled. All right. And my glue dots. I keep putting things away. All right. So there's that. And that is just going to get stuck on top of our lid. And you could certainly leave it without the bow if you wanted to keep that blue, you know, fully on there, but I kind of like the little bow on there. Now I did, on my original card, I used Wink of Stella on my strawberries. And I had also stamped them out on shimmer paper as well. But I do think I am going to go ahead and just kind of give a nice little brushing of the Wink of Stella over all of these strawberries, just to give it a little shimmer, give it extra detail, extra pop. And just kind of brightens up those strawberries too. So we are just 2 seconds away from being done. I know this video was a little bit longer and I apologize for how disorganized and chaotic. I just feel chaotic today. So there it is. That is our card. I thought it turned out pretty darn sweet. So, and we're sharing sweet thoughts. worldofjencraft.com if you guys would like to go over to get the dimensions for this project. I will have a PDF along with a supply list. jen.stampinup.net if you would like to shop with me 24/7. And I always forget that and. If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe so you get notification when I post my next video. Thanks again, guys. Bye.